coming up. Construction safety comes into question.
Later, live in the newsroom, Coralville has a new adaptive clothing store.
The Hawkeyes defense takes center stage. I'll have more in sports.
Despite Starbucks bringing back pumpkin spice yesterday, summer is still here in Iowa City. I'll tell you more in weather.
All that and more coming up on this Wednesday morning edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere. DITV News starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Abigail Curtin. Coralville-based adaptive clothing brand Eightfold Fox is making fashion accessible by tailoring clothes for those with disabilities and medical conditions. Daily Iowa News reporter Emily Nyberg is live in the newsroom to tell us more. Emily, how will the clothing line benefit the local community?
Yes, Abigail, that's right. Fox, the owner of Eightfold Fox, has been making adaptive clothing for 2 years. They transferred from their previous job as a director of speech-language pathology to making clothing due to their need for items that are more flexible and can be easily modified to accommodate their digestive disorder. Today, they make custom-tailored clothing for the public, allowing them to express themselves without compromising comfort. Items can be found at their website, eightfoldfox.com. Fox is working to merge fashion and function, with adaptations making them accessible to all.
And what types of adaptations does the line feature?
The collection contains dresses, skirts, pants, aprons, and much more, all of which have specific alterations to make them more accessible. For example, one item in the line is the gatherer skirt. The skirt features a gathered waistband with a drawstring in the back that can be adjusted throughout the day. This item was designed for people with conditions such as irritable bowel syndrome, who face extreme bloating and weight fluctuation. Along with this, Fox's store features clothing that accommodates people with arthritis, fine motor impairments, sensory needs, Crohn's disease, and much more.
What does the future of adaptive clothing look like?
Adaptive clothing is likely to rise in popularity as clothing markets globally are working to cater to as many consumers as possible. 1 in 4 adults in America live with a disability and 6 in 10 live with a chronic illness. So most people you know could benefit from adaptive clothing in some way. Back to you, Abigail.
Thanks, Emily. Recently, a construction worker on Highway 180 was run over by a machine. This incident raised more questions on the safety protocols for road construction. The Iowa Department of Transportation points to the safe system approach as the ideal way to prevent accidents. This system aims to incorporate human error into the equation by adding additional warnings and protocols for when an accident occurs. This is achieved through extra signage, training to respond to an emergency, and encouraging safe driving.
It acknowledges that a construction site or work zone is more than just a single person. It's not just a worker, it's not the DOT, it's not the contractor, it's a system of safety.
The DOT stresses that it is those few instances where human error or external factors come into play are when accidents happen. They encourage drivers to pay attention to signs, drive slow for unexpected blockages in the road, and to drive without distractions. The Iowa DOT stresses that everyone has a part in keeping one another safe in construction zones by following the safe system approach. 2 men approached Iowa City High students after the school day this last Friday. The incident was reported to authorities and the police are currently in search of the 2 individuals. The report says that it was allegedly a pair of white men driving an old red minivan. The individuals allegedly asked the student if they, quote, wanted to play a game, end quote. The student declined and filed a report immediately after. The Iowa City Police have now increased their presence around Iowa City High to protect the students and staff. Police say that the investigation is ongoing. If you have any information, please report it to the non-emergency line at 319-351-1647. Riverside Theater is back and ready to kick off their new season. This staple of the Iowa City art scene has announced their 2022 to 2023 lineup, which features a variety of productions from Iowa City locals. This season features a total of 5 productions taking place over the school year. Beginning on September 9th, the first show of the season is Chipmunked, written by and starring UI professor Megan Gogarty, which runs until October 2nd. This one-woman show features themes of love, sex, life, and death while connecting it all together with a bit of humor. With solo performances, moving audiences, blasts from the past, and more, this season at Riverside is aiming to amaze audiences of all ages. Tickets are on sale now at riversidetheater.org. Now, we're at the end of August, and that should mean fall is right around the corner. Samantha, will the fall temps finally make their way to Iowa City this week?
Unfortunately, Abigail, just when we thought the fall was approaching, it would seem that is not the case. As we look at the live shot today of the Iowa River, today is going to be a high of 90 degrees and a low of 63. So you won't want to put on those sweatshirts quite yet, Hawkeyes. And tomorrow will be just as hot with a high of 89 and a low of 68. Looking further into the week, it doesn't look as though it will be getting any cooler. Friday is going to be a high of 91 and a low of 66 with partially cloudy skies. And for anyone going to the football game on Saturday, it looks like it's going to be an ideal day with partially cloudy skies and a high of 85 and a low of 62. To round out the week, we're slowly getting closer to fall with a high of 81 and a low of 62 on Sunday. Now, Sam, I've heard the Hawkeye defense is looking to be a dominant force again. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, Samantha, that's right. Over the past couple seasons, the Hawkeyes defense has played a huge role in forcing turnovers and interceptions. And last year, the Hawkeyes defense actually led the nation in interceptions with 25. This year, defensive coordinator Phil Parker looks to Kayvon Merriweather and a few other leaders who have become veterans on and off the field. DITV sports reporter Max von Grease has more.
They've been here a while, and I can't believe Kayvon is already his senior year, and the way he goes about his business, the way he pulls the guys in, and he sees it. He's very mature, understands what he has to do defensively, but he understands also his biggest part is helping the other guys out. Some guys might be, hey, we got 3 or 4 guys that can play the Mike, or we got 3 guys that can play the Will, or we got 3 guys that can play the Leo, so that's a plus.
The defensive secondary for the Hawkeyes lost a lot of key contributors in Matt Hankins, Dane Belton, and Jack Kerner. But for this year's secondary squad, they're still rolling with their famous nickname, the Doughboys.
We're keeping the Doughboys. It's going to keep rolling, so we'll see how long that lasts.
Once you get into the DB room, you kind of get into the flow of being a Doughboy. We're slowly getting some new Doughboys in, but by the end of the camp, I think they'll officially be added to the Doughboy room.
Merriweather and the rest of the Hawkeye defense will be put to the test as they face off against the South Dakota State Jackrabbits Saturday at 11 a.m.
Thanks, Max. Aside from the Hawkeyes' solid defense, Iowa needs to work on their struggling offense. Iowa's poor offensive outputs is what many believe to be the reason Iowa was unable to capture the Big Ten title. This year, with another season of experience, the Iowa offense looks to prove why they are not the crutch of the team.
There's absolutely the mental side of it. Just it gets easier as you go. As a senior now, being my 3rd year starting, I've been through it all. We're hungry. I think we're definitely motivated in that sense. Because, like I said, no one wants to be, no one on the offense wants to be 3rd fiddle.
Iowa has a tough matchup to start their season, facing off against a team that is bringing back multiple FCS All-Americans and a strong dual-threat quarterback. But can the high-powered South Dakota State offense translate to Kinnick Stadium with 70,000 fans right on top of them? Coach Ferentz knows that this is easier said than done.
It's going to be great to be in Kinnick. We've been there for Fan Day, which is Kids Day. It was a good opportunity. I've already told the players, especially the younger guys, a little bit different when it's 70,000. And now it's our job to come and try to match the enthusiasm that our fans will have. I know it'll be a great environment. So hopefully we'll play up to that level and look like a good football team.
The Hawkeyes will have their shot to prove their worth this Saturday against the tough South Dakota State Jackrabbits. Be sure to tune into Friday's live show for a more in-depth breakdown of Iowa's matchup this weekend. Back to you, Abigail.
Thanks for tuning into DITV. Head over to thedailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday. For DITV News, I'm Abigail Curtin.